All right, guys. Today is July 14th, 2024. Coming at you for our live stream to talk about The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Dead City, other shows, other movies, other stuff that you're watching and just excited about. In a couple weeks, we'll have Comic-Con. We'll talk about some Walking Dead news there. Deadpool, Wolverine coming out very soon as well. So the 26th looks like to be a big day. And that's a Friday, so that's when Deadpool and Wolverine come out, but also Comic-Con for 2 Walking Dead panels. So we'll talk about that as well. So hopefully you are safe and sound and doing well this July and this summer and this year so far. So, as I do the live stream here this July 14th, half the year is gone. More than half the year is gone. So hopefully 24 is good for you. It was a crazy day yesterday. And then I woke up today to see that Shannon Doherty died at 53, I believe. And yesterday Richard Simmons died. And that whole crazy thing with the rally in Pennsylvania. Like, oh my goodness, man. So hopefully we'll be all right. And hopefully you're doing well and you're safe and sound. But thank you guys for being here, being a part of it as always. I truly appreciate it. So they're still filming Dead City Season 2 in Massachusetts. That's still going on. I would assume they may go to the end of the month, finish up in July. Makes sense because if they were on episode 7, I believe, last week, and then we got our episode, whatever it is, the second to last episode and the final episode. So it's about 2 weeks per episode, and there's 2.5 weeks. So they may go to August 2nd. Would make sense to finish up the second season. And there's been a lot of talk of Norman Reedus wants to play Daryl Dixon for the next 6 to 7 years, or whatever seasons and whatever you thought of it, but just longer too. So, and also Melissa McBride probably wants to be Carol for however long, but Lauren Cohan said that she wouldn't mind being Maggie Rhee for a while as well too. And I would imagine if you have a character that you've been a character for so many years to kind of become the character a little bit, right? Also, if you're an executive producer on a show, if you're a director on a show, if you have more roles, you get more money, you get more credits, you get more stuff. Why would you stop that too? It's tough out there. Especially you got to find your niche and find your market and find your stuff there. Like The Walking Dead to me is on life support. But if I was an executive producer, a director, and starred in a show, that's crazy, right? Relaw Shannon Doherty is, she was Brenda Walsh on 90210, and she was also on Charmed. So thank you, Jeannie, Zenith, Rob, Kay, Sonia, Jacob, Tim, everybody else for joining me this Sunday, and everyone else that's coming in as we speak. So, it's been kind of a crazy month. June, July, and August kind of suck because they're so hot, so craziness. I live in Florida, so we have to deal with hurricanes from now till December 1st, potentially dealing with bad weather. But it's been hot. Yesterday I did some yard work. I bought an electric lawnmower and tried it out, and it's pretty cool. I'm trying to get away from gas a little bit here and there, and I was like, let's just try this thing. And it worked good. It did its job, and trying to get some different stuff going there as well. And did some yard work, watching different shows, finishing up the first season of Your Honor, watching The Boys still. Finished The Bear season 3. It looks like it's probably going to be in 2 parts because it says to be continued. So what else are we watching? House of the Dragon. And then we got Cobra Kai starting this week, part 1 of their 3-part series finale. And how about you guys? What are you watching? What are you excited about? Are you excited for, House of the Dragon every week, The Boys season 4? Are you going to watch Copa America soccer final, Colombia, Argentina? Are you going to watch the Euro final, Spain versus England? I think the England-Spain game is on at 3:30 East Coast time here in the United States, and 8 o'clock Copa America final in East Coast. So depending on where you live, check it out if you're interested in that too. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Every day is cool. My friends and I were working on a golf trip And we kind of booked something for next year. We're going to be going to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And should be awesome. I've never been there, but I'm very excited. And excited to just see my friends. If you know the book series, Fight For Us, my book series, you may kind of feel familiar with Sean, John, and Matt. That's who I'm going with. And I will meet them there in South Carolina next year. So I'm very excited for that too. So, and Zenith says, having an awful time in Britain, but we love you Americans. So hopefully you're all right, Zenith, and hopefully it gets better for you. I don't know if it's something that just takes some time or if it has to do with just being in Great Britain or wherever you live, but hopefully you'll get through it and get through it. And no matter what it is, you can make it through it. If it's good or bad, really good, whatever, good times, bad times. It's a part of life, and you'll get through it. I've been through some bad times too, like all of us. If you live long enough, you're going to have your aches and pains and trauma and problems and everything, but it's how we deal with them and cope with them and move on. There's the line in Rocky Balboa that my wife and I watched a couple of days ago just on TV. Happened to be this part where Rocky talks to his son because his son's having a tough time being in the shadow of his dad. And Rocky talks to him outside and says, Ain't no one going to hit harder than life. It's not how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. That's what winners do, and keep going just no matter what it is that comes your way. You can handle it. You can deal with it. It's going to pass. Just like all good things, they go by too, but all same thing with bad things. So July 26th, 2 weeks from today, basically, so a week from Friday, 2 weeks from last Friday, July 26th is Deadpool and Wolverine, which is a big movie, probably the biggest movie of the year. I would assume it's going to do really well. But also, I just want to make sure I got this right. So I got some notes here so July 26th, that'll be like the second day of Comic-Con, because Comic-Con is usually San Diego Comic-Con, I should say, is usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the 26th is the Walking Dead panels, or are the Walking Dead panels. And they're going to be in Hall H, July 26th. It's going to be Dead City first, followed by Daryl Dixon, 1:45 to 2:45 p.m. I'm guessing that's West Coast time, is traditionally what it is. So depending on where you're at, just check your local listings and whatever there too. But the Walking Dead Dead City panel, 1:45 to 2:45. The Daryl Dixon panel will come right after that from 2:45 to 3:45. So we're going to get two panels again, Dead City followed by Daryl Dixon. And I'm guessing it's going to be Scott M. Gimple, Greg Nicotero, Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Lauren Cohan, the showrunners. Because I'm guessing who's going to be there. And yeah, they're not going to be able to tell us much. They're not going to be able to tell us this. They're not going to be able to tell us that. We're not going to be able to. They're not going to tell us anything great. But I hope they have some big news. I really hope they have some big news about the Walking Dead universe and not just those two shows. Because if they just have season 2 is going to be Maggie this and Jeffrey Dean Morgan this and Negan this and Herschel this and it's going to do this and we're going to take place here and it's going to be some time has passed and it's going to be like blah, 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 like nothing. Like Gimple does. Be Gimple style. Tell us nothing. And then Norman Reedus is going to be like, yes, it's going to be the Book of Carol. It's going to be Daryl and Carol working together. They're going to find out this. We're going to do this. We're going to take on there. It's going to, okay, great. But what is the future of things? What is the future of stuff? Is Daryl ever going to come home? Is Carol ever going to come home? Are they stuck there? Is it going to be that? Are they going to cover the stuff from the World Beyond stuff? I just don't know what the future of it is. I really hope they announce something kind of big, because they announced it was the Michonne show, Rick and Michonne Together show. That was going to take place in the movies and was going to do this. And overall, it was pretty good. The 6-episode show worked. Did it bring people back to the universe? Maybe. Did it really cover things? I don't know, but it was enough. It was good. It was worth watching. And if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out, obviously. But I'm now excited to see what's going to happen, what the big news is. I'll be working that day, so I won't be able to post or make videos, but it would be something that I will keep my eye on it. And then if it's it's going to be something that'll be interesting because I'll talk about it in the live stream on Sunday because that's on a Friday to Sunday as well too. So, but Isabel says, "Can y'all end the Walking Dead universe? It's getting ridiculous." Well, then what are they going to do? You know, like AMC. What is AMC's next show? What is AMC's next thing? What are they going to do? I mean, all good things must come to an end, but I don't know. Carol says, the young man who played the son in a series called Truth Be Told, Octavia Spencer, Gabriel Union, Aaron Paul, and Ron. Cephas Jones, This Is Us, a lot of other actors. I don't know what we're referencing there, Carol, but I am watching, Carol recommended a show called Your Honor, and that's on Netflix, starring Bryan Cranston. Oh, the son on Your Honor, okay. I don't like that act. I mean, nothing against the actor, but that character, in that story at least, is just so annoying and dumb and stupid. We're on the last episode of the first season, and a lot of people have said, if you don't know, the show is called Your Honor, and Bryan Cranston plays a judge, and he has his son. Well, I don't want to get too much into it. I want you to watch the series, but the son has some problems, has a major problem, and then the whole big story is what unfolds after it in the beginning of this series. And Bryan Cranston is the judge, and it's a decent show. Like, it's got its moments and it does its things, but ultimately we'll have to see what happens. I have not finished the first season. There's 2 seasons, but a lot of people I've talked to about it says that it should have just been 1 season. The second season, I haven't seen it yet, but just says it wasn't kind of necessary where it kind of goes or whatever too. So we'll have to see. But I am interested to see how the first season ends, especially what they've been setting up all season long. So have you watched Your Honor? Do you watch Your Honor? Your Honor. If not, what else are you watching? So like I said, we're watching The Boys season 4. The show is just getting kind of crazy. It's just one of those things where they're poking fun of the world we live in now, kind of a thing. And the stuff with Starlight, and it's just, I don't know. It's got my interest, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go. But I feel like the last episode or the last couple episodes really need to be great, and they probably will to set up the 5th and final season. But we'll have to see what happens with the final thing. I'm excited to see what happens in that series because I don't read the comics. It's another comic book show that I have not read. I have not done anything like that too. So it's one of those things that I just want to see where it is. And I like not knowing what happens in the comics of The Boys. And again, the show is the show, the comic is the comic, and they go down different tangents and paths. But it's something that we'll have to see. James, hey, Bri, how have you been? Are you excited for Cobra Kai this week? Been pretty good, James. Been a little crazy week so far, but we're making it through. How about you, James? And I am excited for Cobra Kai because I watched the trailer, and there needs to be more actual karate and stuff. And, you know, it's going to be 3 parts, so we'll have to see what's going to happen with the big tournament outside the United States, and we'll see different people and this, and it's, you know, and then ultimately the movie too should be big thing. But I am excited to sort of see, and that's this week, I believe on the 18th it starts, and then next month is Umbrella Academy. So, you know, I talked about this last time. So we live in an age that there's so many movies and shows that are coming on. Oh, we're also watching Receiver. It's the NFL show that's following receivers, and also George Kittle, who's a tight end for the 49ers. But that's the show. Last year they did quarterback with NFL quarterbacks. This year they're doing receiver, and they're talking about the different receivers like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. And it's just pretty cool. Like, I love to see an inside look in I love a good documentary. I love a good story. I love an inside look in someone too, especially someone that's a professional athlete and what they go through and what they've been through and what they do. And I remember last season, like we know that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl and they beat the 49ers, and we know what happens. So they are following the wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, and the tight end for the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So we'll have to see how that goes down, but there's no one from the Chiefs that are there. But it's always kind of cool to see an inside look for that, too. I love a good documentary, and it kind of has that feel as well. House of the Dragon, are you watching that? Anyone watching House of the Dragon? That's it got better last episode. We're finally getting to some dragons and some fighting and some action and some stuff, like it could be a slow build. It's going to be a build up. There's going to be something. Can't be action all the time. But the best episodes in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon to me are the action, the excitement, the battles. That's like the best, the best episodes of Game of Thrones were big epic battle scenes, and not everything could be that, but to each their own, and it's getting a little better as well too. So we'll have to see what happens there. So watching shows, there's enough shows all the time on all the different streaming services, which is awesome too. So yeah, James says is watching Hard Knocks. So yeah, you're watching Off Season with the Giants. That's my wife's favorite team too, is the Giants. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I still like to see the inside look of any franchise. And so let me ask you, James, since your team's the Giants and you're watching the Hard Knocks Off Season with the Giants, how do you feel about that GM, John Schoen, or however you say his name? Because I know how I feel about him, and what happens with Saquon is kind of annoying, but how do you feel about him? Gotta love this troll. The Cobra Kai family. Cobra Kai is better than The Walking Dead because Cobra Kai is not milking this show. PT, why are your channel says covered Cobra Kai? You don't talk about Cobra Kai at all. I guess you just missed the last 5 minutes of me talking about Cobra Kai coming back this week, and I'm excited for the 3-part finale of it. So it says it there because we do cover topics of it, and we talked about things in the past on there as well. So I guess you missed that there, troll. Thank you very much. Hilarious. But the fact of it is being that the trolls are out today in full effect, and I don't know what it is. Must be something in the air, but I don't miss that at all. I don't miss dealing with nonsense on there too, and we ain't got time for that. That's for sure. So ultimately, we got a lot going on this summer, planning stuff for next year. How about you? Any plans, any trips, any vacations? What you got going on? Before you know it, guys, it'll be September 29th, and Daryl Dixon Season 2, The Book of Carol, will be on our television screens on AMC and AMC Plus, too. So, Regina says, hi, Mr. Bry, enjoy all of your broadcasts. I would like to see a spin-off series where they take each main character and take a look at their life before the outbreak up to their meeting their groups. Well, that'd be kind of cool, Regina. I don't know if they're ever going to do that. I mean, that would have been a cool thing to do instead of Fear the Walking Dead nonsense. If they really connected the dots with things and put stuff in perspective with that. Instead, they went the spin-off route with the nonsense of Fear the Walking Dead. That was a waste of time. World Beyond didn't do enough for the universe. And I agree. I would have liked to have seen stuff like that. I also would have liked to have seen a what-if approach, a what-if this happened, what if that happened too. So, and like Jeannie just said, that would have been better than Tales. So it would have been a Tales of the Walking Dead, and it would have been kind of really cool to see, because I thought Tales of the Walking Dead was supposed to be like animation. Like, it's supposed to be like they had this, it could have been animated stuff, it could have been live action. Like, their plans were probably outlandish for some people. That would have been kind of there too. And they were talking about a musical, and they were talking about this and talking about that and talking about all this crazy stuff. So it's got to be tough when you have the source material and then you go off the source material. Like, you say, oh, The Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead, or you just have The Walking Dead in the name, right? So then you milk it. You do this, you do that. You have Fear the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead. and then like this of The Walking Dead. And like, so it's just kind of, I don't know. You know, it is what it is too. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Jay. It's just like you have no. And I'm glad you like the thing. I just wish, you know, you got to have a face of a franchise, you know. And I think Saquon was your face of the franchise too. So we'll have to see what happens next week to see what happens. We all know that Saquon goes to the Eagles instead of staying with the Giants. But now you just helped the Eagles get better, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, unless you're an Eagles fan, but I'm not, so I don't want to see that. I would have rather him stay on the Giants because they improved the Eagles a little too much there, in my opinion, too. So, but, you know, The Walking Dead is a huge franchise for a lot of people because it was so good. Like, the heyday of The Walking Dead, I don't know if it will ever be improved. You know, or if it'll ever be matched, because it's one of those things that I don't know if you can do what you did. Like it was a game-changing show. It was really, to me, like the best storytelling of a show that really had enough character development and stuff, everything. I mean, there were shows before that too, but they were like sitcoms, like the shows of the 80s and 90s, they weren't the same. Like Roseanne and TGIF shows and this shows and that shows and even Friends and Seinfeld. Like, stuff was there too. Like, this felt like a character-building show, survival show that was just really good. And something else could match it. You know, never say never. I think it would be kind of cool to see the latest and the greatest. But I think it was a big show to be like a game-changing moment where, like, there's good shows and television's where it's at. Because before, I think they said a lot of the best writers went to the movies. And now, hopefully, that has changed. And now with all these streaming shows, so you have the movies, you have cable, but then you also have all these streaming shows. Stuff is just for Hulu, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Disney. Just like so many streaming services, Paramount, you know, all these different things, that you have all these different writers all around. And there's a lot of good shows on Hulu, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. Like, do you guys watch The Acolyte? You know, I've watched, we watched, what, about 4 episodes now? 5 episodes? I don't know. But it's finally getting better with the story. Because, you know, it's about Jedi, which are great. I think that's essential in the Star Wars story. But they're kind of doing some cheesy things with it. But hopefully we'll see what happens with the story, and hopefully it gets better. And I don't know if they're going to plan for a second season or whatever they're going to do. But Mandalorian is great, and, you know, like that. Are you watching that? The Acolyte. James, what has been your favorite horror movie this year so far? And September is the final Conjuring. They are making Annabelle 4, which I can't wait for. Well, I'm not a huge horror fan. You know, like, I don't know. I don't even know what my favorite horror movie is. Like, is it Scream? Like, I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not the biggest, you know, Friday the 13th or Halloween or, you know, any of that stuff. But I don't know. Like, I remember watching like Blair Witch when that came out, and that was just the biggest waste of time ever. You know, I think they're redoing that or remaking that or something too. So, but I don't know. Like, I know the final Conjuring too. A fun fact of the Conjuring series, I believe the main guy actor, I don't know his name, but he's been in Aquaman and Watchmen and a bunch of things. His brother, I think he's from St. Pete, that guy, St. Pete, Florida. And his brother is on Fox News, not Fox News, but the local Fox station as a news anchor. And that's his brother on there. And they were talking about that on there on the show, which is pretty awesome. Slizzle2290 Q&A. Why do you think shows take so long to put out episodes now? Well, so if you think about it, we're spoiled with watching shows. Like, I don't think it's any longer than it was previously, because if you think about it, back in the day, and I don't know how old some people are in the chat, but back in the day in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have summer shows. Your shows came back in September. And you watched the shows from September to like November or early December. And then there was a break, and then some shows came back in, February or March or whatever it was. And then they finished by like June. There wasn't any new shows. You went to the movies to watch new stuff. The reruns are all the stuff you might have missed during the week, because there was no on-demand. When TiVo came out and DVRs came out, that was huge. Now, people don't watch stuff when it comes out. Like, I don't watch House of the Dragon on Sunday night. We watch it Monday because it's on too late. We don't watch stuff anywhere. Like, we watch on streaming stuff. We watch it like an episode a day whenever we want. At night, 6 or 7 o'clock at night, Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday if we got to catch up on some episodes, which is amazing, which is great. I don't think the shows are anything longer than two. So now shows have to get caught up with stuff because of the writer's strike, then the actor's strike. So stuff is taking forever. Like Yellowstone, the final season, that's taking forever. But hopefully it'll be all right and this and there. But I'm not mad at any of this stuff because there's stuff coming out all the time. Like Cobra Kai's this week, Umbrella Academy the following month. By that time, House of the Dragon will be over, and then Umbrella Academy will be on Netflix, so you can watch that whenever. And then I don't even know, something else will be coming out, I'm sure, that we'll watch. I have not watched Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, but I want to, so that's still there to watch. And then they'll come out with some other documentary or some other show that still wasn't on my radar. Like, I know they just finished filming recently, I believe, Night Watch, or what was that thing? Night thing, whatever. That was season 1 on Netflix. And they just finished season 2. So I'm sure that'll come out either end of the year, early next year. Stranger Things will eventually come out. And again, stuff had to be pushed back because of the strikes. So, I ain't mad at that too. So, no, Kara, I haven't watched any other series on AMC. The Sun. I have not watched any of that. I just haven't watched anything on regular, AMC or just anything on cable really either too. So, I know another show that's like a summer thing is Family Feud is always good with the Celebrity Family Feud, which is always great. Tim says, older folks like me, back in the day, summer was repeats and the new stuff came out toward winter. Used to check the new TV guide to make a schedule. Exactly. So you would get an actual paper TV guide. It was like kind of small with a little rectangle. It was like a little rectangle paper guide of shows that were coming out. And then they came out with a channel that was a guide channel, and you would click on that, and it would scroll like Star Wars, the scroll, and it would have the now it's on everything. There's no scroll. You just actually go down and go look at things on the channel, and now you can record stuff and do this and do that. So it's always kind of like interesting to me because I know where we came from. Nowadays, people, if you never saw that stuff, oh man, when are the shows going to come out? When is this going to come out? We're spoiled. We're super spoiled because especially when Netflix started the whole thing with putting up the entire season, boom, there you go. All eight episodes, all 10 episodes, all 13 episodes, whatever. Here you go, boom. That ruined everybody. Because like, oh, I don't have to wait each week. Because that's what you had to do. Wait each week. And it's what you got to do with, AMC shows and Walking Dead and everything on there too. But now some people are like, I'm just going to wait for all the episodes that come up, or wait till they get like half or more than half the episodes up, then start to watch it too. But it's kind of cool to see, and I don't know what the future holds for The Walking Dead. I don't know what it is, but life will go on and shows will go on, entertainment will go on. So before 2010, there was a lot of good shows. There was a lot of great stuff. You know, like, to me, one of the best shows ever still is The Sopranos. And that finished before 2010. But then Walking Dead changed things. They changed how TV and character development and everything was done. Like, it was just good. And, you know, it's just exciting to see. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for Captain America New World or whatever it's called. Comes out February 14th or 15th, I believe, next year. And you get to see the new Captain America, which is basically Falcon. And you get to see Red Hulk. You get to see some really cool stuff. And I'm like excited to see where that goes next year. But it starts all with Deadpool and Wolverine that comes out in 12 days. And a lot of people are excited for it. I didn't get my tickets yet, but I'll check it out for sure. And I'm excited to see what happens for that. And hopefully you guys are going to check out some different movies and shows. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff on. But I don't know. Do people really still go to the movies anymore? Like, I know people do. But if I'm not going to a movie on a Tuesday or something for, you know, marked down movie day, $6 movie day, it's expensive, you know, and, you know, we'll probably go see Deadpool and Wolverine because we haven't been to the movies since COVID. So that's a long time ago. And movies are so, I mean, life in general is just so expensive for like across the board, for gas still and for movies, food, groceries, eating out, fast food, everything and anything is just there too. So I don't know if stuff's going to eventually go back down because, like, remember when gas was high and they raised rates on UPS or FedEx or whatever on there too? Those rates ever come down because gas came down? I don't know, right? They probably just stayed up. But, you know, do the best you can. Manage your money. Save your money. Invest your money. Because, you know, it's tough out there, too. My wife and I, we go to Publix, the grocery store here, and we go every Saturday. And we're spending now $140, $150, $170, $180 for two people. And we're not getting a lot of stuff. It just adds up. And it just is what it is. You know, so, but other than that, you know, hopefully you're safe and sound and doing well, making through this summer heat, this summer craziness. You know, where my wife and I, we go to the gym a couple of days. I go to the gym a couple of days a week. My wife goes every day. And there's a summer special, so there are all these new people in there that don't know what they're doing. Don't know the gym, don't know that stuff. But the gym etiquette is not taught at all. Like, I used to work at a gym, and I know have a towel and don't have all the equipment and don't use multiple pieces of equipment and don't go from this equipment to the other equipment to back to this to eating up two things. You know, be respectful of that too. And so that's always great. But it's just kind of laughable what people do. But you know, people don't care. Tay says, how many seasons is Daryl Dixon having? Right now, 2 seasons. We have no idea what the final number is going to be, but hopefully they'll tell us on the 26th during that panel. So remember, guys, for those people who just joined and didn't know that I talked about Comic-Con that's coming out on the 26th are the 2 Walking Dead panels, July 26th. From 1:45 to 2:45 in Hall H is the Dead City panel, followed by the Daryl Dixon panel from 2:45 to 3:45 in Hall H. So I'm guessing that's West Coast time. So, you know, it's 3 hours difference here in the United States on the East Coast. So that would be 4:45 and, 5:45. So the times are going to be what they are, and we'll have to see what they, please re-rack your weights. Exactly. People don't be doing that too, so. Carol, I have not talked about the next Gladiator movie, Gladiator 2, with Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, and I don't know who the other person is. But it looks kind of crazy. Like, it looks kind of something interesting. Like, I don't know if I'll watch it in the movie theater. Probably not. But I definitely want to check it out. I love Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington I like him in a lot of stuff he does. But we'll have to see if it makes sense. It feels like it's so long ago. Like, when movies are made, and they do well. Like Gladiator was really a good movie, and it did really well. And I think it's going to be the continuation of that story, because if you know how Gladiator ended, a lot of people die. So what's it going to be? It's going to be the people that were there with him, or disciples of him, or kids of whatever there too. So it's, I don't know. It's interesting because, but it was so long ago when that movie came out, and now they're making a sequel to it. It's just kind of tough. Tim says Yellowstone got messed up with Costner and Sheridan because Costner wanted to do Horizon. I saw it came out, but seems it didn't do that good on opening. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Kevin Costner wanted to make Horizon. I'm not going to go watch that movie, but he didn't want to wait for Yellowstone to come back around and stuff. And I don't know. It seems like Taylor Sheridan and Kevin Costner probably didn't get along or couldn't get it done right. And they're probably two people that butt heads, and they got nowhere for it too. So I don't know what the future holds. I mean, Kevin Costner is a big part of Yellowstone, but he's not Yellowstone. He doesn't make or break the entire series, but hopefully it just makes sense. I don't know where he's going to go away, and then let's see. Is it just going to be one of those things where they talk about him, but we never see him? Kind of. I don't know. Hopefully it's just done right. Tay asks, which Cobra Kai season is your favorite? I don't know. I don't know which my favorite is because I don't really know the seasons that differently. But, the first season is really good because it sets the tone for being back in that universe of Karate Kid. And, I like the idea that Daniel was like the villain, that was the aggressor, was the problem. I see that there too with that, and kind of turned into that too. So I don't know, I might say the first one myself too. So, but it's a cool thing when we're getting more and more shows like that. Nostalgia always wins, and nostalgia is king, and one of those, or queen, whatever you like. It's one of those things that is just so connecting with us. It takes us back to when. Remember when, or remember that show, or remember that movie, or remember this, remember that. And it was kind of a thing where it worked because Cobra Kai is cheesy. It's karate. It's not the best martial art for a lot of people. Mixed martial arts, doing a little bit of karate or a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of taekwondo, a little bit of boxing, a little bit. That is usually the best well-rounded. It to be so locked in as karate, it's kind of old school now too, and it has its place and it has its things and it has its strengths and weaknesses, but the ability of it against a lot of stuff now might be whatever, but it's got that familiarity to it, and it's cheesy. It does what it is, but it doesn't go away from that. Like, it's supposed to be cheesy from it, but when you bring in the past characters, because I've always liked when shows or movies or whatever have connections with the past. Like we talked about it last time. Top Gun Maverick made $1 bajillion because it connects with the 80s movie. And so it could work. It was a long time from when that movie was made in the 80s versus, a couple years ago for Top Gun Maverick. So Gladiator could work too. Gladiator was, did really well, but I don't know how it's going to work without Russell Crowe and this and so too. So it's just, I don't know. We'll have to see if it makes sense for the show, but I think it will. I think if it's done right, it could, drag stuff out and bring stuff back up and connect the dots with the nostalgia and the callbacks and the connections, and it's always a good thing, So it's definitely. Jeannie says Cobra Kai keeps mining the movies for new baddies. I'm waiting for Hilary Swank. Yeah, that would be great. Like if Hilary Swank doesn't get some sort of cameo at least, that's kind of sad because she is a part of the Cobra Kai, or I guess the Cobra Kai universe, the Walking Dead, can't even talk, the Karate Kid universe, because she is part of Mr. Miyagi's. So it would be even cool if Daniel is there at Mr. Miyagi's grave and she shows up and they have a conversation. Because they were both students of Mr. Miyagi too, Yeah, the Penguin series looks good too. I'm not a huge DC fan, but I do like Batman. I do like things there too. And I think Colin Farrell did a great job as the Penguin in the Batman movie. And then whenever they're going to make Batman 2, whenever that's coming out and all that stuff too. So it's just like, so talk about like milking franchises or milking a character. Look at what all the different Batmen we've had, Superman we've had, Spider-Man we've had, all these different characters, all these different actors, all these different people, all these different things there too. So, you know, franchises and stuff, they're just going to keep milking that cow, that cash cow. They'll be making Batman movies to the end of time. Superman movies forever. Like, they're just going to keep doing that. Like, it would be really great. Like Marvel did a great job with all those actors and everything because it was the same people who've played that too. Yeah, War Machine was different and Hulk was different and a couple people were different here and there too. Just like Thunderbolt Ross is going to be different because that actor died. Now it's Harrison Ford. But it works because you didn't have Tony Stark wasn't three different people, and Thor was still the same actor, and and it worked with Spider-Man because they connected the franchises and they connected different things, and so it worked. And you don't have all the different actors, but how many people have played Batman and Superman and this and that too? It's just a little too much. But same thing with The Walking Dead. What if like Rick went away and Andrew Lincoln stopped being Rick Grimes, but they recast him? That wouldn't have been good. What if they recast anybody on the show? Like, they never did that. Right? Because it wrecks the continuity. It wrecks what we're used to. It changes things for everybody to be like, well, that sucks. I like that guy, or I like this thing too. It was funny. I was driving back from the gym this morning, and they were talking about the Euro Cup, who is Spain versus England. And the one guy had no idea about soccer because he was saying that it was like, yeah, Spain's good. They got that Rolando guy or whatever. And the guy was like, no, that's Ronaldo and he's on Portugal. But it was really funny. And he was talking about England. He's like, I don't like England because they drink too much tea and they drink this and they do this and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I found out that Idris Elba guy is English. And he's coming in here taking all these roles. And if you think about it, it's kind of true that all these British actors are coming over to America and taking all these American roles. Look about it on just The Walking Dead alone, right? And it's not like American people go over to Europe and take all these British roles. That doesn't happen at all. So they kind of got the market, like it's probably much easier for a person with a British accent or a Scottish accent or whatever in the UK or something to come over to America and have an American accent because it's probably easier to replicate because you speak English and you just have to change your dialect and your tone and your this and your accent a little bit. But you don't really see, I don't know of any myself, I don't see anybody coming from here, from America over to there unless they play an American part. I don't watch BBC or any of the stuff like that, but I thought it was an interesting point to bring up too. So Dragon says British television by law is required to give parts to British actors. Like everybody has to be British? You can't have anybody from anywhere else? Is it a certain percentage? Because that's kind of crazy. Because I guess you can have a British accent and go over there too, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on it and I'm not saying it, but I thought it was an interesting point to be like, oh man, so they can have their British roles and then they come over here and take their American roles and then go over there and take this. Like a lot of people are from Europe or Australia that come over here and take American roles. And, it comes down to talent and whatever. Like, it blew my mind, and I'll never forget it. I used to love the show House. It was a medical show on Fox, and I was in physical therapy school when that show was on, and it finished right when I finished physical therapy school right about. And I was like, it was a great thing. And Dr. Gregory House is Hugh Laurie, who's British. Like, it blew my mind when he was talking in his regular accent. And I was like, whoa, for real? Because he had a great accent. He had a great Northeast New Jersey accent talking there too. And he had attitude, and he was this, and it was crazy. It blew my mind. And that was the first time I ever really saw that, because I devoted some time and I cared about stuff. And this was like 2006 or 7 or whatever it was. And so we found out it was behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not mad at people who hire Idris Elba and Hugh Laurie and anybody else from the UK or Australia or something. Like, I don't care. But I thought it was interesting there too, because there's a lot of great actors all over the world, but a lot of good people. And I don't think, if you're a good actor, you're going to find some work. You're going to find, especially nowadays too. Like, I don't know who the interview was with. It might have been Peter Dinklage or something, but they were talking about all the different streaming services and all the different stuff that's coming out, and the shows and the movies and the stuff that's there. Like, because the movies are always going to be made, whether they're from the big studios or from Amazon or MGM or Paramount or Warner Brothers or whatever. And then you have your streaming services. You have your Max and even your Max, your Showtime, your Stars, your stuff like that, MGM Plus. And then you have your Netflix and your Amazon and your Paramount Plus and your Hulu and all those things too. So you have so much stuff that's out there, and some of those shows are just for that. They have Hulu shows, Paramount Plus shows, Disney Plus shows that are just for that. So if you're an actor and you can't find some sort of work in some of that stuff, it's probably not for you, because this is the most abundance of different productions that are there too. Again, like, there's so many different studios that are making movies, plus TV shows, plus series, plus documentaries, plus this, plus that, Like, I would love to do it, is voiceover work, like The Simpsons or like, Family Guy or something, because like, that's like awesome money. You don't have to, you're working a couple of days a week. You don't have to like care about what you look like, because you're just using your voice, and you go in and make a bunch of money, and you can do that for as long as the show's on. Like, the people that work for The Simpsons, that is a jackpot job. You're making so much money after all those years. Man, it's crazy. But ultimately, guys, hopefully, we'll continue on with the shows and the movies, and there's always going to be entertainment, right? We all need entertainment. We all need escape. We all need this. Rob Casey has lots of money in video game voiceover. Exactly, right? So the voiceover stuff, like for The Last of Us, I don't even know when The Last of Us Season 2 is coming out, but I'm really excited for that too. I'm sure it'll be either end of this year, early next year, but probably early next year is what I'm guessing. Does anybody know when that comes out? But yes, the voice acting stuff too is awesome. Like, I know Steven Yeun has done a lot of things there too, and Ross Marquand does a lot of voice stuff. Or like, if you were doing like the X-Men 97 stuff, or the different stuff on Amazon, different stuff there too with animation and I guess cartoons. That's awesome money, I'm sure. And again, you don't have to worry about how you look or there too. Just that voice has to be good too. So, but hopefully you're still going to watch a lot of good stuff and shows, movies, and whatever too, guys, So hopefully we'll find out more information on the 26th. But, so I have my live stream next week. That'll be before Comic-Con. And then on the 28th, it'll be after Comic-Con. So then we'll be able to talk about the news that's going on there. And Cobra Kai will be on Thursday. That's the 18th, Cobra Kai final season part 1. So we'll be able to talk a little bit about that on next Sunday. Then we have The Boys on Thursday too, and if I look at my shows, I got Monday, I got House of the Dragon. Tuesday is the HBO preseason or off-season Hard Knocks with the Giants. We watched that Wednesday. Thursday, I watch The Boys on Amazon. We'll probably watch Receiver on Tuesday or Friday. We'll probably watch Cobra Kai on Thursday or Friday, and then we'll watch a couple of different things. There's a lot of good stuff that's going around, but I gotta finish Your Honor. And I'm not sitting around watching TV for hours and hours and hours. I got to work and I got to take care of the yard and the house and laundry and all this other stuff around here too. So we don't watch TV till later in the night. And then we got to go to bed to wake up early if we go to work and all the crazy stuff. So, it's just to have a life. So it's one of those things where you got to kind of just watch it where you can. But I know if you're on summer vacation, enjoy it. If you're going to be off for the summer, enjoy it. Because, when you start working, and if you hopefully are working, hopefully you're retired. Hopefully the people that are watching this and do this are retired, and you can enjoy your life and have a great time and play golf or go shopping or go dancing and do whatever you want, travel, go on cruises, go on this, do whatever you want, and do all the stuff you earned. And if you're in between college semesters or if you're a high school student or something, enjoy your time off, because when you start working, it stinks. I earn PTO every paycheck. So I earn over 3 hours every paycheck. And if I get twice a month, I get paid. That's more than 6 hours. So it's 6.5 hours just about. It's a little more than that, but let's say 6.5 hours every month. And so if I make 6 hours, just for easy math, times 12, that's 72, hours a year of PTO that I can earn. But I'm going to use some here, take some here. So I'm not going to accrue, use it all. I'm going to accrue it there too. And so in September, I'll be working for the company that I work for a year. So hopefully I get to accrue more hours every paycheck, which would be nice, because then I can have it a little more freely, because you have to save up your PTO, which stands for paid time off. And so you're trying to do the math of I had to do my math sometimes. Okay, so my dad's coming in October. I got to save up this amount of time for 1 day off. How many things there too? And then I'm going to take some time in November. Okay, I got to take this. And then hopefully I could take a day in December for my birthday in there too. And, I have to start doing the math of using this, doing that. So it's just one of those crazy things. But enjoy life, invest your money. And I don't work for money, that's for sure. I mean, that's a part of my job, but it's essential. I'm there to take, vested interest in getting people better. And of course I do it for a salary, and I don't do it for free, because, that's just not the way it works for me. I got bills to pay and I got stuff on there too, but it's tough. Life is expensive. Gas is expensive. You want to buy things for the clinic or buy stuff for yourself or have fun and go on there stuff too. It's not easy, that's for sure. And so the big thing is I've learned is that you have to enjoy life as much as you can, and going on vacation, seeing your friends, seeing your family, staying in touch, communicating, being there is essential. Communication is key in all forms, like here, us talking, typing, whatever it is. Being a communicative person goes much beyond just talking. It could be your body language. It could be how you say something versus the tone you say it. It could be what you're trying to say versus how you're saying it, if it's on the same wavelength. And I'm doing this training because I'm a clinic director now for the clinic, and I have to do this training every Tuesday now for the next, it's 6 weeks. We just did one on Tuesday for 5 more weeks. I have training sessions that are 80 minutes long, and they talk about leadership, and they talk about this, and they talk about that. And it's actually very interesting to see the world as a leader, and to see yourself as a person that is there to be helpful, to make people better, to make people get the best out of yourself, but also your employees, but for me, also my patients too. So we try to maximize the benefit of everything there too, and it's not easy. It was cool because clearly the guy that's running the first module was in the military or loves the military mindset, because he was highlighting and talking about people that wrote books like Jocko Willink and Sam Snead or Sneak, I don't know how to say his name, but he was interesting too. And we watched the thing, and I had homework that I had to watch this 45-minute long video and answer some questions, and it was pretty cool to see that too. And a good leader goes a long way, and it's a never-ending job, and a good leader welcomes that for different reasons. But it was just interesting. And I thought about it too as, myself, my life. He has any books in the works. So I started briefly writing the next series, and I wrote like 3 pages. And I didn't really write that much, but I'm getting ideas all the time where I want to go with it. And so I'm definitely going to start writing a little bit more if I have a little more free time to write a little bit more and to put some more time into it, because I have my ideas where I want to go, but I'm going to take my time with it and make sure it's done right, because I want to avoid the mistakes from last series. But that's the part of life, like getting to the point where you're at now, whatever it is. Where are you at? Did you just start? Have you been doing for days, months, years? It takes time, and to get better at it, you have to improve on it. Like, so I told you before, my friends and I are working on a golf trip, right? And we booked it for next year, and we're going to go to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And I haven't played golf for like over 10 years. And I guess it's like riding a bike, right? I'm hoping, because I know the golf swing, and I know how to work on stuff, but I have to work on it. I have to get better with it, because I haven't done it. So I have to worry about driving and my irons and chipping and putting and, just getting the fundamentals back down. So I got to go to the driving range. I got to work on some stuff. So I was getting my clubs together, getting some stuff here and there, get my cleats together, the golf balls, the clubs. I bought a couple of shirts. I bought a couple pairs of shorts. I bought a couple pairs of this, trying to get my stuff together to get it there too, to get back to it. Because I don't want to lose to my friends. So there's going to be myself, Sean, John, and Matt. If you know the Fight For Us book series, you know basically who they are. It's fictional, but they're based on, loosely based on some of my friends, and that's three of my good friends. And so it'd be good to see them next year. But I don't want to lose to them. I do not want to be in 4th place. I want to be in 1st place. I want to have the best rounds, because we're going to play 2 rounds of golf, and it should be fun. But we'll have to see. It's one of those things where we have to get better at it to make sure. I just don't want to be terrible out there. So. But it's just cool to be here, you guys. Like Tim says, I can say I enjoy taking this hour break on Sundays with you guys. So that's exactly, Tim. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I hope everybody sees this as a group and a community to chat, to take the hour just to be like friends, community, to have people to talk about it. And it's just a fun thing, and it's cool because this started from nothing. The PT channel didn't exist. And then we created it. We started it with physical therapy and personal training and fitness and diet and nutrition and stuff there too. And there's some of those videos on the channel. And then it branched out to Walking Dead and then other shows. I guess I have to cover Cobra Kai a little bit more because that person Cobra Kai wants to, and that's cool. And I'm not hating that person. I think they were trying to troll, but I want to talk about it a little bit more too, especially with the first part of the final season coming out on Thursday. But it's just a cool thing to have a friendly conversation, and you're not, the old adage was you don't talk about religion or politics, right? And that's true, especially if you're of different-minded individuals, too. Like, I have some patients that are one way, and I have other patients that are the opposite. And I see both sides. And I'm not here to judge either person by it, but I've had people that tell me that they have lost friends, family members, and they don't go to certain businesses or restaurants because of certain political views. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy to think that. Right? And hopefully they'll get over it and they get better on there too. But it's a crazy, dangerous world there too right now. And we shouldn't let it aggravate us so much that I'm going to stop talking to a friend of mine because we're different in there too. Now, I have friends that have different views than me. And I have different views than them. But we have common ground and we have things in there too. So. Natu said, right on PT. I'm definitely looking into getting a few of your books. Yeah, Natu. So like I said, like Carol said, we have 20 books. Fight For Us is 20 books. And then In 100 Days is 3 books. So with that whole universe, I have 23 books on there. So that's always a good thing, good where to start. And if you have a Kindle, definitely check out Fight for Us on there. The first book is 99 cents. If you like paperbacks, then they're on there as well. They're more money because of the cost of the paper and the manufacturing and all that stuff too. But if you have a Kindle, the Kindle's the way to go because it's just cheaper. You know, the books are 99 cents to, you know, $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. So they're much cheaper than the $10.99 paperbacks. But, you know, stuff costs. People like an actual physical book. You know, I like an actual paperback, and some people do as well too. But it costs money to manufacture and make too. So, all right, guys, that's my hour. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead universe, a little bit of Cobra Kai, a little bit of House of the Dragon, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Mardi Gras in my life. You know, so hopefully you know that song, you know, from it. But you know, stay safe out there, stay dry, stay cool, stay hydrated. Stay out of the sun for too long. Sunblock. Be safe. Safety first and always. And then I'll be back next Sunday to talk about all that different stuff, guys. But, you know, remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it no matter what it is. Like I said, I'll be back next Sunday to talk about a bunch of different stuff. Have a good week. Enjoy the shows and movies this week that you're going to watch. And I'll be back next week.